If you love liberty, declare your independence by signing the Shire Society Declaration at shiresociety.com.
Open the public hearing on House Bill 82 and recognize the prime sponsor, Representative McGuire. Good morning again, Madam Chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Darryl McGuire, representing District 29. And House Bill 82 is a simple clarification that defines hair braiding and establishes that to perform it does not require a cosmetology license. This is because, first of all, they don't teach hair braiding in cosmetology school, so a license doesn't teach you anything useful in the purpose of braiding. And secondly, data from other states has shown there is absolutely no public health impact to unlicensed braiders. They don't use chemicals. They don't do anything except mechanical manipulations of the hair, and that's very safe. There's more need for it than you would expect in New Hampshire because for one thing, there are interracial adoptions that cause a lot of problems, and some people who have more experience with it give you that information. But I put the bill in because braiding is safe and harmless, and it shouldn't need a cosmetology license. I'll answer any questions I can.
Thank you very much, Representative. Are there any questions? Senator Reagan?
What astounds me is that we had to have a bill to say that we don't need to license something which does not require
It astounds
a license.
me, but I heard in the House hearing that there are people who got a cosmetology license because they felt they needed it, even though braiding is not specified as part of the scope of cosmetology. And why they felt they needed it, I don't know the answer to that either, but they thought they did. So I believed it was better to make it clear that they don't need to bother with it, and it'll be okay.
Thank you.
You're to be commended for your...
Thank you.
I agree with you and everything. My only quick question was reactive chemicals that I saw here listed on line 27, the application. Are the reactive chemicals used? Am I reading that?
I don't believe so.
It's saying natural does not include.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping.
Yeah, no, does not.
On line 20.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
does not include.
Yes,
because
it
I
does
think
not include
that's what I wanted to
the
hear.
above.
Okay.
To the extent
right.
Does not include, I'm sorry.
Now,
I'll get my glasses.
if someone wanted to have extensions and they dyed the extensions and braided them in, I don't think that that would be a problem because
They're not going anywhere
it's
near
not
the head until it's finished.
applying to the actual scalp. So,
Decorative. Great.
okay. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much. Let's see. The chair will call Darryl Perry.
Thank you. I have written testimony and a couple of handouts. And like Senator Reagan, I want to thank Representative McGuire for introducing this. I think it's a good first step.
Excuse me, mister, could you introduce yourself for the record,
yes, sorry.
please?
For the record, Darryl Perry, CEO of Liberty Lobby LLC. I don't think that this goes far enough. It's a good first step. And you'll see once you get the written testimony that it currently takes about 3 times as much training to become a cosmetologist or a barber than it takes to become a police officer in the state of New Hampshire. And I think that there's something seriously wrong when we say that it takes more training to do something to someone's hair than it does to put on a badge and go enforce laws. I would love to see, and there's a list of statutes that I would love to see repealed. I realize that's not before this committee at this point, but all of those are dealing with regulations of cutting hair, with washing hair. Senator Gannon, you asked the question about reactive chemicals. Technically, right now, you could go to Walmart and buy some reactive chemicals called hair dye, apply them to yourself, and that's not regulated, but if you charge someone money to apply that to their head, then all of a sudden, some government agent says, we get to regulate this transaction. And I think that's utterly ridiculous. Again, I support HB 82 as a good first step. and hope that in the next session more things wind up getting repealed, and I'll answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Perry. Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you very much. Okay, the chair will call, let's see, I have Mr. Freeman.
I'll waive my testimony, thank you.
You're going to waive it? Okay, the chair will call Yvette McDonald. You can have your, is this your daughter?
This is my daughter.
Yeah, please have her. She can come up and sit with you.
Good for education today. Seats here. Thank you. My name is Yvette McDonald, and and this is my daughter, Anjali McDonald, and I am in favor of House Bill 82. I am a natural hair care stylist and braider, and I just wanted to share with you why I feel really strongly that House Bill 82 should be passed. Number one is I want to make an honest living for my family and come out of the gray economy and contribute to the economic growth of our community and the well-being of our development of our community. And also, hair braiding is safe. It doesn't, as Carol McGuire said, that there are no chemicals used, there's no cutting, it's just the manipulation of the hair. And I just wanted to take some time just to give you a better understanding of what it is that I do. It goes beyond the simple task of just a 3-strand twist. The braids are done on hairstyle, on hair that is kinky, curly, and textured hair. And it is done as a means of protection to protect the hair from getting tangled amongst each other. So keeping the hair braided is not only for the protection, but it's also a cultural tradition that's been passed down from generation to generation. I learned how to braid hair when I was 8 years old, my daughter's age. And so the styles are very intricate, very detailed, very time-consuming, and it's something that you cannot learn, and it is not taught at the cosmetology level. And it's also providing education for parents who adopt children that are from a different ethnic background, that have a completely different textured hair than the parents. For example, Caucasian parents adopting children of color, specifically of the African diaspora. And the moms not knowing what to do with their children's hair. And then what happens is that child doesn't have the self-esteem, doesn't have the tools same tools that other little girls have to learn how to care for their hair in the proper way, and so they can have healthy hair. And so they want to, you want them to feel good about going to school and interacting with other children. And so that's another reason that Hair Bill 82 should be passed, is to provide the education for adoptive parents, for interracial parents who have children and not knowing what to do with their hair.
Okay, thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any questions? Senator Woodburn.
Thank you. So if I went into, or someone went into a hairdresser, could they do hair as beautiful as yours? I mean, do they have that? Is that how common is that skill?
I'm going to answer that question in 2 parts. So if you were to walk into any hairdresser, no, they're not going to be able to do that. If you walk into a hair salon that happens to have somebody of an ethnic background, such as my own, who knows how to do that, they learned that from a child. They didn't learn it from cosmetology school. They learned it growing up in the culture, because that's how we learn to care and maintain our hair. So guaranteed, if you walk into any one of these salons, if there's somebody who is not who did not grow up doing that, the chances are you are not going to be able to find a licensed cosmetologist unless they happen to be already having that background. But no, you're not going to be able to find somebody to do your hair. Well, your hair or somebody else's hair.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the chair will call Jill Terzian. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Jill Terzian, and I am here in favor of House Bill 82. I own a hair salon here in Concord, and I currently have 10 hairstylists that work for me. And over the past 8 years, I've also employed 2 hairstylists that were able to do braids. And to answer your question, the 2 women that worked for me that did braids, they had children that were mixed race children, and that was how they learned to do it. So we definitely get calls, and I have no one to refer them to in Concord at all. There is a place in Manchester we refer to. We often refer to a woman that we heard of in Lowell that's doing something. So there is demand, and I would absolutely be able to offer a chair to a braider in my salon right here in Concord, New Hampshire, because it would be beneficial for them and beneficial for me.
Okay, thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any questions? Senator Woodburn.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Maybe you can give us a little more information, because there's a lot of discussion about licensure around here, and any other thoughts or opinions you could share with us in terms of regulations that could be done away with, that or should be eliminated, that really do not do anything to help either protect the public or have anything beneficial. If there's any of those areas that you could share with us, we'd be grateful to hear it.
I could touch on a couple of those. As the owner of the salon, I'm actually an esthetician. I don't do hair. But the one thing that I see with my girls is they are working with chemicals that are absolutely able to burn you at any moment. And it's more, there's a difference between color that you buy at the store, a box of color, and a bleach that you're applying to your hair. You can burn your skin, you can burn your eyes, you can burn your hair off. So I think I know there's a certain amount of learning and expertise that these stylists have to have in order to work with these chemicals. Past that, I don't have a strong opinion on licensure. I am able to say that I have a girl that is working for me now, and she's apprenticing as an esthetician under me. And that was an interesting thing for me to learn, that you could apprentice instead of actually going to school. So she's able to work under my license, and I'm able to supervise the things that she does for me. I am able to teach her the right way, and that has been a very helpful relationship for both of us. So the apprenticeship, I'm a big proponent of.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much for your testimony. The chair called Veronique, is it Ilungo? Ilunga, okay. I wasn't sure if that was an A or an O. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning. My name is Veronique Ilunga, and I'm in favor of the Bill 82. I'm a licensed cosmetologist too, and I own a salon in Manchester, New Hampshire. When I first moved here, there was no area where I could go to do my own hair. So since childhood, I learned how to do my hair. I knew how to do my hair from my mother. So when I moved here, I had to do my hair. In order to do it the legal way, I had to have a license to open a place to do it. So I had to go to school and spend a lot of money to get the education that I needed just to open a shop so I can do it legally. But the skill to braid the hair I learned from generation to generation was passed down to me. So I didn't learn it in school, any braiding or anything like that. So I had to do that, and I opened the shop, and now I own the shop, and I also have a girl that works with me that we deal with natural hair care. We do braiding, dreadlocks, and all that. So there's a demand for it, and a huge demand. And there are people that are braiding at their houses because they can braid in a salon, where it's a space where it's more welcoming to everybody. There's a demand for it, but the supply is short. So I'm in favor for this bill.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I just have a quick question. So if we were to pass this bill and it become law, do you see more natural hair salons opening in the state of New Hampshire?
Definitely. I see it, definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much. The chair will call Shaquanda Allen. I hope I didn't butcher your name.
No, you did awesome.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Shaquanda Allen. I'm in favor of Bill 82. I live here in Manchester. I'm an aspiring hairstylist, natural hairstylist. I would like this bill to be passed just because it helps me be more professional. in the state of braiding, doing natural hair, being in a salon setting is much better than being at home. I get more respect on my craft, which would be awesome. And I don't really feel like going to school for cosmetology is what I want, because I'm not into coloring, I'm not into bleaching hair, just because it's not something I like to do. I have dreadlocks. That's a real natural state of hair, so I want to be able to provide that to other people. There are a lot of people that have my hair type, and there's nowhere to go around here in New Hampshire, in Manchester. So if I'm in a salon setting, it keeps a lot of people away from my home, and I get, again, my talent is shown better in a salon rather than being at home. So that's why I would like this bill to pass.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Are there any questions? Senator Susie?
Just one, what's the difference in the technique between doing the dreadlocks versus the braiding?
Dreadlocks are all twisting method. There's no intertwining, it's just more of twisting. It's less maintenance than the braiding. You don't have, it doesn't come out. This is my hair forever.
Until you decide to change it.
Until I decide to change it. More of the color.
Yes. Okay, are there any further questions? Seeing none, thank you very much for your testimony. Thank you. The chair will call, is it Avalar?
Yes, ma'am.
Please come forward. Good morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Paul Avalar. I'm a senior attorney with the Institute for Justice, and we've been working with braiders across America for the last 25 years to get rid of pointless and burdensome, harmful laws that have prevented them from earning an honest living. We'd like to thank Representative McGuire for bringing this bill. We think it's a great bill, and we would ask that you do pass it. It gets rid of a pointless, unconstitutional regulation, because New Hampshire shouldn't license something as safe and common as just braiding hair. 21 other states already do not require a license of any kind to braid hair, and there's a clear national trend to get rid of licensing for braiders. Just last year, 4 states got rid of the license. The year before that, another 4 states got rid of the license, including next door neighbor Maine. This year, South Dakota has already eliminated the license, and there are bills currently pending in another 5 states besides New Hampshire that would do the same. We would ask that you support this, and I'm happy to answer any questions on sort of national view of what has happened and experiences in other states, or questions about licensing generally.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other members of the public that would like to speak to House Bill 82? You are?
I'm not on the list. I came here a little late. I apologize. My name is Ross Connolly, C-O-N-N-O-L-L-Y. I'm the grassroots director for Americans for Prosperity and Generation Opportunity in the state. Since a lot of folks covered a similar testimony that I did, I'll be very brief. We view this as a direct barrier and burden towards upward mobility. This affects, for the majority of low-income younger people, maybe graduating college or out of high school, trying to find their way, using their talents to move up, start their own business and things like that. So the burden of the license, having to go to the school, which costs between $5,000 and $20,000 to attend, plus the over $100 licensing charge, it sets people back, not being able to follow those paths. So we're in support of House Bill 82 and urge you to pass it for those reasons.
Thank you very much for your testimony this morning. Are there any questions? Senator Woodburn.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is kind of a broader question, maybe a request. If you could furnish to us, I know that many of us are very serious about trying to cherry pick certain existing requirements that we believe make it harder for people to get into certain professions. We're very interested in working with you and your cohorts here to identify those onerous regulations that keep people out of professions, and maybe introducing a bill next session. So
absolutely,
if that opportunity
absolutely
arises, I'd love to be part of it. Thank you.
Absolutely, and this is just one small example, and we hope to kind of and some of those other barriers, especially in other professions like this that are safe and proven to be safe. So,
thank you very much for your
thank you.
testimony. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close the hearing on House Bill 82.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.